welcome to London. How are
Thank
you?
you so much. Thank you. I am very well. I feel grand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how are you excited about this show? What are you feeling at the moment?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a buzz and an energy in the air, and it's been a long time coming. You know, we spent 4 months in the Cape making this baby, and it's of course for me it's a landmark for me in my career. It's kind of a new beginning, and yeah, I'm excited.
So tell us a little bit about how The Perfect Couple came to you. Talk to me a little bit about the process.
So, I mean, it was a self-tape, and it was the tail end of the pandemic, I think, in 22. And yeah, it was just one of those things that was a bit serendipitous because there was a deadline on the date. I was busy working on the day. Had I not done the audition on that day, I don't think I would have made the deadline or been able to do it. And as luck would have it, I didn't have anyone helping me with the tape. I didn't have anyone for cues. So I decided to just run it off my own voice and send it in with my fingers crossed, and it seemed to have worked. So in the future, I will be following that protocol for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here we are today.
Yeah.
Ishaan, I must say to you, I mean, your body of work so far has been absolutely phenomenal. Like, I remember watching you in Beyond the Clouds, and I think up until this day, I still go on about how phenomenal your character was in that film. It was just outstanding.
Thank
I mean,
you.
I know that genre was different to, of course, what we're here to speak about today, but just explain to me a little bit about how you look back on some of the projects that you've done and how you've grown as an actor.
It feels like, you know, paradoxically, it feels like a long and short journey at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, it's only been 5 or 6 years, and it's also amazing that we're here in London with the first premiere for this one, because the first premiere that I ever had for my debut film for Beyond the Clouds was at BFI.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a small circle, but it's a full circle, and yeah, it feels. I feel grateful. I think that I've had some opportunities early on in my career that have been really varied and allowed me to sort of find different facets to me as a performer, and I enjoy that. You know, that's one of the things that really keeps you driven in this profession. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I have a really long way to go. It's, you know, it's only the beginning, but I do feel grateful for sure.
And how would you say you choose what comes to you? Like, you know, you get lots of scripts and stuff and lots of work that comes to you, but what is it that actually makes you say yes to something like a show like The Perfect Couple?
I think, of course, the big draw-in was the fact that Susanna Bier was, you know, helming it, and she is a high-caliber filmmaker, somebody who has really, you know, done her dues and been around for so long, doing phenomenal work consistently. You know, I've been a fan of her Danish films, and I recently really enjoyed The Undoing and The Night Manager. So yeah, so that was definitely a big one for me, and what a wonderful cast. I mean, just to be able to share the screen with an icon like Nicole Kidman in itself is tempting enough.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's a great setup, you know, with 21 Labs and Netflix, and that aside, for me, as far as the character was concerned, I think what I look for is an opportunity to do something with the part. And I think this had that. This had room to fill in the spaces, and there's a sort of like air of mystery with this character, which I really enjoyed.
I think you could really tell that in the first literally like 30 seconds, because I think in the beginning of the first episode you could see you like in the background, and then you come with the drinks, and you know, it kind of it is like there is a little mystery. You're absolutely correct. I mean, I've only seen the first episode, but I think it would build up over the rest of the episodes. But.
Yeah, I think also Susanna with her choices. I mean, she really knows what she wants. But that's what I found even when I read it, and I think it's translated on screen, is like the way it builds is very, very interesting. So that to me was a big one. Just the fact that it felt like just a part and not a typical sort of tokenized diversity role as well, if I may say that. That was very exciting.
Yeah.
And the writing was really fun. I mean, if you're a fan of murder mysteries,
love them. I was just saying that. I was like, I think there's a little fun aspect to it as well, given, you know, although it is like a thriller murder mystery thing, but it's some of the one-liners in it are so funny.
Yeah,
they are so funny. So I think that really keeps you like really hooked onto it.
You've just seen the one episode.
Yes, yeah. I've just seen the one episode.
Well, I hope there's more where that came from. I think you'll enjoy it.
No, I think that's what I was just saying just when we were just waiting. But I think it's like I just want to carry on watching it now. So it is one of those shows where I think if you're sold within the first 60 seconds, then you know you're just going to carry on watching it and you just want to know what is going to happen. So I think probably I'm going to spend the rest of my day watching it now. But yeah. So you just mentioned the diversity tick box and stuff. You know, you've done Suitable Boy. This is, you know, you're doing The Perfect Couple as well. But how, as an Indian cinema actor, how does that whole diversity tick box kind of work for you? I mean, like you said, it isn't one of those, but as a whole, for like Indian actors to be going into mainstream and stuff, like how do you see it? Like, are we getting there slowly? Do we still have a lot of work to do? Or
I certainly think we are, and I'm in a good position to say that because my experience with this was very satisfying, and I think that it's a really exciting time for crossover work. I'm an audience first and then an actor, right? I mean, I've been watching movies for longer than I've been in them, and I can say that I think now is possibly one of the most like potent periods for globalization of cinema and cross-border work, and I don't say it's not just, you know, I'm not just saying it as a, you know, promotional thing or anything. I mean, I felt that way when I read it, is that, oh, that's interesting. That's, you know, that's unlike anything I've perhaps seen before. So yeah, that's a big green flag for me. And I hope the audiences feel that way as well. But even putting that aside, I mean, it's just a great mix of people. And the cast is very, very, very interesting and exciting. And I think everyone was cast perfectly in their roles. So.
How was the vibe on set with such a wonderful cast?
It was great. I think we, you know, all of us, you know, younger actors on set were able to carry each other through the 4 months in the Cape.
Yeah.
It was off season, so there weren't very many people. And we sort of occupied and energized the town of Chatham during that period. And there were just loads of barbecues, and like we would go bowling and axe throwing and just keep each other entertained.
Nice.
There were lots of off days. I mean, it's an ensemble cast, so everyone had on days and off days.
Yeah.
And we really got to bond over it. So I'm grateful that I was able to have them to lean on, and it was a fun time.
Tell me about Nicole. What is she like?
Ooh, she's well, for one, she really does have hypnotic eyes.
Yeah.
All the more in person. I mean, they tear through the screen, but I found her to be extremely warm. I think Eve recently said that she's very maternal, and I would second that.
Yeah.
Not in, you know, like in the nicest way possible. Like she really owns her position on set. She commands it, and she has some really interesting ideas that often, you know, one incident in particular which opened up a lot of dimensions for me as an actor. Is she interpreted a scene in a whole different way, and I think it kind of shocked the set into waking up. And I enjoy that so much. I mean, it was a great day of learning for me as an actor. Of course.
And I think, like you said, as an actor, I think there's so much creativity that goes on, like off screen and on screen. So, you know, that's really nice. But would you say it's different working on a set like this as opposed to what it's like in Mumbai, you know, with Indian cinema?
Of course. I mean, it's kind of different on every set. Every unit has its own energy. And because, like I mentioned, I've been able to work with different sets of people almost every time. I've had that experience, but of course this is a big shift. It's a big cultural shift more than anything. I think essentially at the heart of it, what we do is the same thing. We're all creators, storytellers. But I think there are differences in protocols and in ways of working, which mostly are cultural differences.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think this was a highly, high functioning, sort of set, and with a bunch of esteemed people running it very, very efficiently. So yeah, it was easy to be a part of this, for sure. Yeah.
And in terms of big screen versus OTT platforms, I mean, do you feel that it's a more wider reach on OTT now, like especially post-pandemic? Like, I think viewing habits have completely changed.
Well, I mean, that really depends on, I don't think it's a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. For series, of course, the streamers are the mecca. But as far as films are concerned, when you have the big event movie and it blows up in the theaters, it also gets the streaming audiences.
Yeah.
And it reaches, really penetrates. So, and my first love is the big screen experience, is cinema. So I wouldn't exchange that for anything, because I think that's the format kind of really elevates the storytelling.
Yeah.
But having said that, I think the kind of content and diversity of work that one is able to watch as an audience on streamers is very, very exciting. And yeah, some of the best work is happening on there. So.
You've also got the Royals coming up as well, so that's something very exciting to look forward to for you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So Ishaan, finally, I think if you could give a message to your UK fans, people that are going to listen to and watch you, just a final message about this show that you'd like to give them.
Well, I mean, I had a wonderful, I have to say, like, the UK fans were so beautiful and accepting when A Suitable Boy came out. And, I think this show is going to have something for everybody. I think it's a whole lot of unexpected fun. If you're a fan of dark humor and satire and drama and murder mystery suspense, this is your cup of tea. So I hope you enjoy it. Yeah.
Definitely will. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.